Welcome to KISSABC.com. Keep it simple survival. Always be creating destiny. Today we're going to take things a little slower and a little different. I'm in the comfort of my own place, and I'm on my own couch here, and I have buckets around me. And so we're going to do the video inside because the content of the buckets need to be explained of how you're going to receive your package when you do and when you order. But first let's go over exactly what it is, what we're doing, okay? If you had 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes to grab what it is that you need in order to survive, for your family to survive, if you are home or not, gentlemen and ladies, or children that are left at home while mother and father are working, you need to know that they can survive, or that they have some form of survival gear. And not too many people have that. And so I wanted to just fully explain the situation that we're creating for you to have certainty behind Keep It Simple Survival. Okay, first, we're in the great state of Arizona. Thank them. Thank that our military, our Marines, our U.S. Army, and everyone else that's under our great Constitution. Thank them for our freedom. Thank them for fighting for us every day. And God bless them all. And thank your mother, your family, your father, your friends, your brother, your sisters, your aunts, uncles, everybody. Make a phone call. Tell them you love them, okay? And that you feel a lot better today knowing that somebody's out there building a bucket for you, or going to build a bucket when you make the decision. And hopefully today you can make that decision for what it is that I'm going to explain. Now, there is a lot of other buckets out there that says they can survive, or they'll let you survive. They come with a lot of dry packages, dry food, and certain situations where you have to do certain other things. Now, in the form of survival, I mean, like, you don't have too much time to grab what it is that you need. And so when it comes down to the time it takes for you to survive, you only got a few minutes to make a choice. Some people, when their house is burning, they're sleeping, and they wake up in the middle of it knowing that downstairs is on fire and they have to jump out the window or something. And hopefully you got a ladder, or you're not too far from the top or the bottom, and you can go down there and you make it. However, when you leave, obviously insurance covers that. But some people out there don't have much more than just what they have inside their home. And so what we're going to do is go over the content of what's inside the bucket. Now, I said 90 days, food, water, shelter, heat, and personal items, hygienes for your ladies and for your men, and for your children. And travel buckets, or for children buckets, the same thing. We're going to go over each one of them really quick, and we're going to take our time with them so that way you can understand what it is that I see. And if maybe what I see is different than what you see, then maybe you can explain to me when you shoot me an email or something, or shoot me a request for a bucket. Now, these buckets are prepared specifically for each individual family, person, life, or event. So if you're diabetic and you need to put something in here, and if you have certain things that need to be placed in the bucket, like all your pictures that are in the house, the irreplaceable ones. If you want them on a USB drive and you want them in the bucket, so that way you know for certain that all you need to do is grab the bucket, then we do that for you. We have a little 8 gig USB drive that comes with it, and you can put all your videos and all your music, everything you want, all your pictures on there. So that way, when you do get back to normal, or when you're finally realizing that the stuff in the house isn't more important than your life, at least that's the way that's my opinion. And so the content in the bucket requires you to prepare for that, and then that way, that uncertainty of you thinking that all my materialistic things that I've saved up for matter. Well, insurance covers most of that, so you should be able to get that back, or get a check and probably order it all again, right? Well, some things can't be replaced, like those pictures, certain artifacts. You only have a certain time to grab what it is you're going to grab, and I've asked numerous people, what would you grab in 5 minutes? Well, some of them said they'd grab, some water, food, that Costco box, or that Fry's box of food that they got, and all that stuff. And it sounds great, believe me, but you're only thinking of yourself, and that would be selfish, because if you're only thinking of yourself, what about the rest of your family, or what about the rest of the people around you? You don't want to cross the river of success and be the only one over there trying to celebrate. Everybody's included. All 7.45 billion of us need to survive, whether it be a catastrophe across the country or a catastrophe across the world. No one ever knows when this is going to happen. You know, from Mount Rainier to Tornado Alley to hurricanes down in Florida to an earthquake in odd-known places to tidal waves. You know, even flash floods are part of that, or heat, the form of heat, when heat comes in and someone's outside. And these things matter, and they matter to not only me, but they matter to all of us that love human life. So what we're going to do is explain. And the first thing I'm going to explain is, here's a package that is prepackaged, and it's food, okay? And it has 90 days worth of food in it. It's right here. It's got everything you need, and it's shrink wrapped and sealed, and that would last you could leave that in there for 30 years and it'd be the same way, you know, as long as the bucket stays together collectively, and you would have this, you know, in 30 years, you know, it might be a little different food in 30 years, but you'd still have enough food to survive. You could throw this down a river and it would float. You could throw this, this can get in your bucket down in a lake or a flood, and you would have food inside the bucket for your family. And those things matter, but it is shrink wrapped, and it is to where you can leave that in there on a shelf life. There's nothing in there that would go bad. Okay, it's pure protein, and it has this one has coffee filters in it, made in America. And so this is how your package would come. Each individual bucket gets prepared just for you. And what goes inside is if you request certain foods, certain kinds of foods, or certain kinds of items, you put that in there and you request that, and we package it for you, place it in the bucket, verify that it's going to be there for you, and send it to you anywhere in the world. Okay. Other things that are in the bucket, little travel pots and pans, or camp pots and pans. You have to boil water. You have that in here. To cook food, you have that in here. And these things matter. These things matter to where your pots and pans are up in that hurricane or in that flood, gone, goodbye. You're going to have to cook some of that food, and you're going to need to know how to do that. You can't just put that stuff in a cup and expect it to work. Okay? And some people are to where that dry food doesn't work for them, where you know, you just add water to it and it's okay. Well, some other people like it to where they can cook it themselves and see it, and their portions, so that way they know that they can survive for the 90 days that it takes to get back to where they were before all the catastrophe happened. Some of them require this stuff, and you can too. So this is part of the bucket. Okay. The packages come with everything that you can think of. A cup, you got Q-tips, you got toothpaste, you got mouthwash, you got shampoo, you got needle and thread for any kind of clothing you might have, a fish hook line, you have Tide soap, you have women's tampons and pads, you have children's color crayons. You have individual items in here that were requested, and not only requested, but ordered by you, and that come with a standard bucket. And these things are all gone in your hurricane or sucked underneath that concrete, that 9.5 earthquake that's supposed to be hidden. You know, all that stuff's gone that you ordered from Fry's or Costco. But in here, you grabbed your bucket and you ran out to safety, and now you have the things that it takes to survive. These things matter, and they matter to everybody. And each bucket comes with its own separate thing. You know, this one here has a little thing of baby oil, has deodorant, it has a Flint, it has Sweet and Low. Some people like coffee with their Sweet and Low. I know my mother does. It has Kleenex. This has tin cans in it, so that way you can turn around and cook, you know, and eat that food or cook something that you need. It has toothbrush protector. It has salt, sugar, pepper, and it has little things in there to cook. This has a fork and a spoon for your child, and it has 2 heat blankets in there. Okay, these are things prepackaged, pre-made, and shrunk wrapped and sucked down where this will last you for as long as you have it. Inside the bucket, ready to go in the form of an event of a disaster or catastrophe. And as in the small buckets, you know, those are good for your car, and these are good for children. Let's say you just had a baby and you need to know that the baby is going to survive when you run out of that house. You know, let's say you have an infant and you're still breastfeeding, or your the baby's daddy might be at work, or your husband might be at work, and all your Enfamil is inside the house and it's burning, or the earthquake fell and the house fell down. You know, California has fires all the time, you know, and Tornado Alley, Texas has floods, all that kind of stuff. You can't rely on trying to predict when it's going to happen. You got to get in the event mode, that your certainty is based on what you have to survive right now. Can't go filling up the basement with a whole bunch of jars, big gallons of milk and all that kind of stuff. You know, if the earth shakes or sucks it down in there, how are you gonna need rope on all those things and pull it out? Each bucket does come with rope, by the way. Rope enough to make a tent, rope enough to send it down in the water, if you look at some other videos. Okay, they come with reflective tape on there, so just in case you need to see where the bucket's at night, or for safety, and you want to send it down the river to make sure where it's at in the middle of the night. Comes with an American flag because they're American made here in Arizona, and they always will be, and they're going to be made and packaged and manufactured here in America, in the state of Arizona. And so these ones, if you're on the side of the road in the middle of the desert and you don't have nothing, and you're sitting there and your cell phone don't work, what are you going to do? You're going to change that tire, or let's say you don't even have a spare tire and it's 120 degrees out there and you can't survive, and you have just your car. You're going to stay in your car and hope that somebody comes by, or you know, you're on that back dirt road and you got that flat, and now you're out there on your own and no one knows you're out there. You know, what are you going to do? The cell phones don't work. You know, let's say you're in the middle of the wilderness and cell phones don't work. They just don't put them out there anymore. The signals anyway. Anyway, so these ones all come with like this. It's just simple foil. You could use it to try to get somebody down, but made for cooking or made for your own reasons. Okay. And again, baby wipes, not baby wipes, but just in general, fresh wipes. Now you can turn around and you can shower. You can use these for your restroom. You can use these for a lot of different things. Clean yourself while you're waiting for somebody. A cup, so you can have something to drink, and you fold it back, and it's still in the bucket. You know, like I said, a bungee. You might want to bungee your kid or your husband or your wife, or to hang your bucket from a tree so you know it's safety. They come with little mosquito things in there, so that way you can put that on there if you're in the wilderness and it's rainy, or in Florida and mosquitoes are out and you don't want to get bit. You know, you could be out in the middle of the Everglades and you just never know. Your car breaks down. What are you going to do? You're going to get that Costco box out and hopefully you packaged everything correctly. These are things that are pre-ordered in your bucket that are made for only you to survive and your well-being of your family. So whether it be this bucket or this bucket, the purpose is to get rid of the uncertainty inside your notion, to say that, what would I do? Well, you know, we make decisions. We're men. We make decisions, and I bless you all to make the decision to take the moment to order a bucket for yourself, or for your family, or for someone in your family, or for someone you love. You know, we're men. We make decisions. We make decisions upon marriage, when we marry somebody. And that decision I made, you know, or that a man makes at that time, is a significant one. And we need to be reminded of that constantly, every day. But let this be one of them. This is a marriage that says that you will survive. Not only do you have the American flag on it, but you have our U.S. Marines, military, and our government to make sure that you are doing the right thing by getting this. And as I said before, 30% of all buckets get donated to the kids that are in need of help and want to go after dreams and things like that. Okay, and it's on the website. You'll see it, and it's going to grow as it continues. So we're going to keep going. Simple soap. Wash your hands. You know, you might need to wash your hands up. You might be in some really big mud. You might have a big mud puddle that you fell into and can't get out. You want to clean yourself up. Okay. You know, the most important thing is water. Human life can only go 7 days without water. Now, if you don't have water in the middle of the desert, you're going to need to figure out how to get it. And in the bucket, we have stuff in there that's going to help you survive and continue your life and continue what it takes to survive. This is made in America, poured out of the great country into a bottle, and now you have water. It takes 16.9 ounces for a human life to survive, and you can survive with this in order to get where it is you got to go to get help. Okay? These are things that matter. You might want some coffee. You know, there's coffee in there. Some people like coffee after a catastrophe. Each bucket is, again, packaged and shipped with everything that you need, okay? Another emergency blanket. Might be cold. Desert gets cold at night. You know, up in certain states, it gets really cold, and you might need warmth for your family, for your daughter, your son, your baby. You know, those things matter. Toothbrush with toothpaste, and as I showed you the other thing with mouthwash, hygiene. You have that in the bucket already, ready to go. Okay. These are things that you need, and you know, not only does it come with it, but it is where they're prepackaged and pre-made just for you to understand. Well, there's also a little bag in there, so that way you can put stuff in there that you don't want in there that you want to use daily, like your, you know, your toiletries, you know, things like that. Your morning stuff could be what you're going to do for the next day, but it's in there so that way you can keep the bucket shut, and you know, put the lid back on or whatnot, so it tightens back down and seals, and you know, you don't want to leave it open, so maybe some animals out there might get in there and try to eat your food or your survival stuff. We're talking about the little one here. Everything I'm showing you is in these little ones. Something, a little scrubby to scrub your dish or your cup and clean is in there as well. We have a clip on anything you need is in there. This one was ordered with this, so I want you to understand that. We got fishing line, okay? You know, what if you're on the side of the road for a week and you can't make it, and your daughter's out there with your wife, and you turn around and she needs milk. You know, the baby needs milk, like as in powdered milk or some kind of a baby formula. You know, I know this because I've raised a couple kids and bottle fed them, and believe me, it is to where you need to know that that is done. Well, that's in the bucket as well. We have milk in there for you to survive, so your baby will survive too. And there is a bottle in there for the baby on that particular one. Salt, sugar, and pepper, okay, just in case you're diabetic or just in case you need sugar. You know, your stuff went bye-bye inside, or in the floods like in Louisiana and Texas. Can't go down in the water and go get it, it's ruined. What about even a sippy cup? Sippy cup to give your 4-year-old son or daughter, or you're babysitting and you're driving down the road and you blow a tire and 2 tires blow. You only got 1 spare, okay? Can happen. And you need to calm your children down because it's hot. AC's not working no more. You ran it as far as you could, and cell phone don't work, and God forbid nobody's driven by and helped you. Well, you can't leave your life up to a chance, so that way you know for certain that you can get this bucket, put it in your trunk, and then anywhere you go, you know you have that to survive, okay? And certain other things that matter. You know, there's a razor in here for women, okay? There is tampons in here. You know, you might be out in the middle of the road and you might need some help, and no one knows, and you know, you had your baby, and now you need to know that you forgot something because you were expected somewhere in 2 hours, 3 hours, and someone might be trying to go there and figure out where you're at. You know, and you could be anywhere. You took a side road and you forgot to tell anybody. Well, women need to know that they have the certainty inside with them, and men need to make that decision saying that I covered that for you. Well, we cover it for you as well to make sure that you're okay. Okay? Baby food. Your baby is 1 year old or even younger, and you need to know that you have baby food for your baby in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the wilderness. You know, you're in California and you had an earthquake and all your baby food's crushed underneath all that concrete. What are you going to do? You're going to feed your baby some dust or whatever it is? That's not going to happen. Okay? The bucket carries it, and it has it in there for you, so that way you can turn around and eat it. And you can eat that too. You know, believe me, it's not bad for you. It's just to survive. It takes that. There's shampoo in there, so you can wash up your hair, women. And again, a bottle. There's a bottle in there because your baby might need a bottle, right? And the milk, it needs milk, so to survive while you're trying to figure out what you got to do to calm down and control your reaction to what just happened. Could have a hurricane and all your stuff's gone. You know, those things matter. And there's even candles in there, okay? Just in case you're having a birthday and a catastrophe happens. God forbid, but at the same time, still want to celebrate your life. And even if you don't, there's enough of them here so that way you can blow one out and have a great time. There's lots of things that are in here that people don't understand what they are for until you absolutely need them. A first aid kit, okay, made in America. And you need to know that this you might have scraped your way out of that concrete or up on that roof when you had a flood, and you might need that. You might need to understand that you need to fix that inside your cuts so that way they don't get worse, bigger, or the mosquitoes don't bite them. Okay, and you know, some women like to bottle feed, you know, their baby, and I had the opportunity to do that with my children, and it was a blessing. Believe me, I love them. Okay, it was something that dads get closer to. But if you don't have that and you break down, you have this. You have baby powder or powdered formula or a can of you know, Similac for your baby. Okay, well, these things matter in the middle of a catastrophe because you're not going to go right down to Safeway or Fry's and go pick it up. I mean, it's all crushed or gone in the form of a tornado or something like that, and the cellar's crushed down with water or filled up with that. What are you going to do? You know, if you don't have this, you know, then you're not thinking ahead again. And these are things that need to be addressed now, not later. Now, right now, you're above ground. You got a heartbeat and a breath and a beautiful smile and a great personality. You have so many things going for you. So, just take the time today to understand the video and exactly what I'm saying. But what if you don't want to feed them now, and she's still breastfeeding her baby? Do you have anything for her in there for that? We do. We have what it takes for her to breastfeed your baby through that bottle and through these. She can breastfeed the baby just in case you run out of milk or just in case that baby requires that, because some babies do. You know, baby powder for her to change the baby. There's things like that in there for her and for the baby. You know, if you're not thinking ahead, then you need to start thinking ahead and just move your learning curve up just a little bit. Baby wipes to change your baby and yourself. You know, we were born with baby wipes, and usually we end up there. And it gets to the point to where that you got to understand you could wash yourself with these, and it's no problem. Believe me, I've done it in my career of life and working. That's what I had to do. What about a binky? Baby's crying for a bottle and doesn't want the bottle. What are you going to do? You're going to take off the lid and give it to him, and he's going to chew it up, or she's going to chew it up or spit it out, throw it on the ground. Right now it's dirty. You got to use up all your wipes. Well, there's binkies in there, 2 of them, just in case you got 2 kids. You know, and if you have 4, then we can put 4 in there for you. But yours are in that hurricane or in that flood floating down the river down into the ocean, and God forbid you're going to have to figure out where it's at just to get your baby a binky in the bucket. It's in the travel bucket, and it's as well in the 5-gallon bucket. So let's just keep moving forward so that way you can see what else is in there. Weights for your fish line and a fish when you catch the fish, if you're near a lake or river and you need to catch some food for your family and you're out surviving. Those things matter. You know, everything in here is a form of survival. Well, what about even a coloring book, okay, with crayons? You know, your kids they're stressed out. They just went through a 9.5 hurricane or a earthquake, or Mount Rainier just blew, and everything's covered in ash, and your crayons and coloring books or their toys are gone. What are you going to do? You know, it's something that you need to figure it out, and you're going to go back in there and try to get your coloring books to calm your kids down. You know, kids are important when a catastrophe happens. They're the most important part of it. So we put in there crayons and a coloring book. This particularly one is for a child, and it is to calm them down so they can color. You know, kids like the consistency of what happened to them when they were happy, when they were sitting there coloring for you, and they put in there something that you know, this is for you, mommy or daddy. Deodorant, you know, just in case you need some deodorant on the side of the road. That razor, you know, some people like to shave when they're broke down. I don't know. It depends on what you want to do. But you're in the middle of the desert or in the middle of the woods or out on a lake by yourself, you know, well, you can shave up, you know, no problem. It's in the bucket. Here's that hook, so you can hook that fish, that salmon, wherever you're at, or even anything else to get some food, and then end up cooking it. You know, those things matter. Those things matter to each individual family. We got rubber bands in there, so you can tie your hair, put it in a little ponytail or something, or your children's. You also have some Tide soap in there. I could use the bucket, take everything out, and wash my clothes, being they're covered in ash, let's say, or let's say dirt. You know, a lot of red dirt out in the desert. What if you have to wash up and figure that out? Or your children's clothes. How about that? You're out in the broke down, and you know the clothes have gotten dirty because you got them out of the car to play and to give them some air. You need to clean their clothes because you're going to stay the night out there. You know, you use your car as a shelter or something. Well, you can also wash your clothes and dry them right here. You have that ability to. Okay, simple things that matter that make it easier for you to survive. Okay, there's spoons in there, there's forks in there, little zip ties for you to survive. You know, and if you're in the middle of the woods or the jungle or wherever it's at, the Everglades or even Texas, and a catastrophe has happened and you're waiting for FEMA or something like that, you know, let's just be honest here. It's a long wait sometimes when that happens, especially sometimes with insurance. You know, they say, oh, well, we'll be out right away. Well, what if the roads are all gone? What if the earthquake took all the roads and bridges down, and you know, our military's over helping fighting for our freedom somewhere, and we don't got enough, if you will, people in this country to help us. So we got to learn to help ourselves and get rid of the uncertainty of knowing. And you know, even as well as like a little CB radio. You know, if my wife and I are in the woods and we need to communicate with each other, and I need to know that she's okay, or she needs to know where I'm at. You know, even just a simple little radio works. Okay, so that way you can communicate with your kids and stuff. There's a little thing for cooking, you know, made in the USA, and you can cook your little pots and pans on there and cook your food. You know, that way you can instantly have food if you wanted to have a meal after that big catastrophe. In this particular bucket, we have some other stuff in here, little cloths like this. You know, you put a little bit of soap on this and a little bit of water, and you can put it over your mouth. And if Mount Rainier blew or any other dust storms come in or anything like that, you got yourself a piece, or you can even cut it and give one to your child. And that way you can breathe through all the bad air that just happened. You know, when concrete breaks, a lot of dust, like on 9/11 when that happened, there's lots of dust everywhere. Everybody was putting their shirts up and stuff like that. We didn't have enough help. But you have the help inside your survival bucket. Keep it simple, survival, always be creating destiny. Things we think of to get ahead of what it is that could, in the event, happen at any time. You need to know this because you don't want to live with that uncertainty. The uncertainty of knowing that it takes to survive is very simple. And believe me, I know this from my experience and from what I've gone through in my life, which we'll go over as we grow. So know this, and these are things that you can use for numerous other things, whether it be a filter, you know, whether it be anything that you want to choose to use it for as to survive. There's a couple of them in there. Okay, and each bucket has, you know, all this stuff in it, and it's prepackaged for you. You put it on there, and you choose the bucket, and if you want a travel bucket, or you want a child bucket, and you want a main bucket, you want one in your house, one next to your bed where you sleep, wherever you spend the most time, or in your car if you're traveling, you constantly travel, you know you got everything in there that you need to survive, and you know, you accidentally got in a car accident. You were going down the road, and that person that crossed on the other side of the yellow line ended up crossing the other line. They were under the influence of some sort, and they crossed it. And you thought for your whole life that no one was ever going to cross that yellow line. Well, we all go through that notion thinking that. And so I want you to understand that you don't know that. You can't live with that uncertainty. But if you're out there and you survive, the airbag deployed, and you're off the road and no one sees you, you know, the embankment's 200 feet down, and you make it to the bottom, or you're stuck in the middle, you need to know that you have everything in there. You know, not only first aid, but what if you needed that stuff, you know? A permanent marker. I like things that are permanent. Write down things that are permanent. You might need to write a note or write something, you know, or write something on here, you know, help me, I'm stuck. Those kind of things, they matter, okay? The lighter, brand new, ready to use for you. You know, it might be to where you turn around and need to light a fire tonight. Okay, this one's particularly, again, it's packed with its own stuff. It's got kids' candies in here. Okay, these are things that matter. Little kids' candies, Tabasco sauce for your food, your dry food, and what it takes to survive. It comes with a plate as well. Okay, you got a plate for you. You got a cup. You got a cup for you. You know, the things that are in here are strictly based on just to survive. It's got conditioner too. Okay, these have conditioner for your ladies and men with long hair. Okay, it's a must to make sure that this stuff gets done. We do put lifesavers in the buckets as well, all 5 flavors, because we want to make sure that you have all 5 layers of protection, whether it be the heat, whether it be the water, whether it be to cool, and whether it be hygiene. and security. Those things matter for each person and each human life that we have here today, okay? And I'm, again, coming from the comfort of my own home to give you the opportunity to understand that it's a straightforward approach to you. You're an expert CPA, you're an expert person that went to Boston College in some sort and got a great big degree. Fabulous, I'm all for it. These are things that in real life experience is that work for not only me but for numerous other people. I talked to a gentleman yesterday at a surplus store, and he had informed me that there was numerous other things that could be added in there for that sole purpose. And they're simple things that the military used, and they're simple things that we take into play. This is a little oven right here, and the military has used this before. It has the little thingies in here that you put a little flame on there and light it. Just light it with your little lighter, and then you can put your pots and pans, or you can cook something right away. The military used this back in Vietnam and many other things, and we put these in there as well on a secondary way to cook. Now, if your canister's gone, you're out in the woods for 30 days and you use this, well, you got another thing in there to use another form of survival, and let's say your lighter's out or whatever it is, well, you got a flint, you can make a strike and get that in there. This is a little thing to hold. It holds flame, and it holds it on there just like that. Now, I didn't take the wrapping off on this one, but that's the way it works. Okay, these are things that matter, and not only matter, but they all have them. This one's filled up and packaged. This has tampons and pads for you ladies. Men, some of us want to save all our guns and our bullets and our shotguns, and those things work, and I don't think they float. I think they're made out of plastic, but it takes 10 seconds for you to make a phone call or get online and get over to the website, maybe 15 at the most. It takes 10 cents to make a bullet and take a man's life or a woman's life or a human life. But in that 15 seconds you ordered a bucket, now what do you have? You have your wife taken care of, you have your children taken care of, you have yourself taken care of. So the difference between life and ending one is 10 cents versus 15 minutes and you're done. You don't even have to go on there and try to order something. Like I said, just place your order and put your phone number on there or your email, and we'll get back to you on any special needs you might need. And we will gladly do that for you as we grow together. They come with the MRE dry food. The other companies that are selling buckets have that as well. You need water, though. You're going to need some water for that. And it comes with other stuff in there that you need. And again, these are prepackaged. These are prepackaged like this here. They're shrunk wrapped like this, sucked in and ready for shelf life for a long time. And they're packaged to what you requested. I've said 90 days worth of water, and a lot of people are like, well, how do you get 90 days worth of water in there, And remember, it takes 16.9 ounces, but it takes only 7 days. 7 days without water, and human life is gone, okay? What are you going to do? You're going to have to turn around and figure it out, These are prepackaged. Again, here you have the heat pad for your food, for your MRE package, okay? There's the heat pad for it to cook it. It's in there. It's in the bucket. This one particularly has a lot of stuff in here. It has baby wipes. It has a toothbrush. It has mouthwash. It has Tabasco sauce in there. It has a lighter. It has matches. It has a deodorant. It has 10 plastic bags. It has for women's breastfeeding in there, just in case she's still breastfeeding and you don't have anything in there for her. It has Q-tips. It has color crayons in there. These are things that are prepackaged, pre-made, and verified that they're in your bucket for you. And again, guaranteeing your survival. Okay. There's a lot of things that people say. Well, what do you do? How is he going to stick 90 days worth of water in that bucket? How can I do that? Right. Well, getting creative with things is kind of like what I do. Creative ideas and things like that, and it's something that I had to experience myself. I've gone around the world, met a million people, and it wasn't that I saw what they were doing or did anything like that. I took what nobody was paying attention to, and I wanted to make something of it. And my desire to help 7.4 billion people is come from the heart. I'm just tired of not seeing us prepare for what could happen in the event, and seeing how, our lives, human life, not such as a value. When somebody's driving down with a Ferrari or a Maserati, Audi, whatever you want to call it, a Bentley, got 6 of them, that's great. But if you have a bucket that's going to survive if you have an earthquake, no. Your house is in shambles, all your stuff's in there, you got insurance, and your wife's somewhere underneath all that concrete. It's not working out, man. Take the time today to understand why I'm saying this to you. Obviously, you took the time to listen to the video, so you're thinking about it. You know, when I think about things, I tend to get them done. So I want to make sure that you understand what it is. This one has an emergency tube tent, okay? This will hold your whole family in there, or at least enough for 4 people, your 2 kids and your wife and yourself. And it has everything in there from spoons, forks, knives, that bungee's in there. This has zip ties, it has the hooks to hook it to the ground, it has baby oil, it has a fish hook in there, it has sanitizer, it has a freeze pack. This has baby wipes in there as well, and it's ready to go. You can hold that for as long as you need to, and it's inside your bucket to take away the uncertainty. We're going to go back to the water for a minute because it's the most important thing. Man can't live without water for 7 days, and if you're going to start feeding your family some water, you need to know what it is that what it is that you got to do to survive. And those things matter to us and to you guys. And we don't want it to where you have that uncertainty or you carry it with you in any such form. You know, there is things in this world that you might learn today and you might see. Well, there's this is a can opener, by the way. You know, you might need to open that can of milk that's in your bucket. Are you going to go get your big one from Costco that floated away or went down the stream? No, these are military grade, okay? And this will open this can up here, and that way you can feed it. And in the instructions it shows you how to use that. They're in every bucket. Every bucket gets one because you might want to put some canned food in there or canned milk for your daughter or for your son. You know, with that baby food that you forgot that was on the shelf or down in the cellar. So things that matter, things that are important, things that you need to know, okay, that are vital to the form of survival, okay? And each one of these are filled with certain things that that to me are very important and very important to survive, you know. I'm opening it right now to show you, okay, a prepackaged one, okay? Here's the first aid kit, okay? It has ammonia. What if they got knocked out? What if your wife got hit by a piece of concrete or part of the roof hit her head and she's on the ground and you can't wake her up? You slapped her around a few times, God forbid, and you can't wake her up. And well, this is an inhalant for her to get up. It'll wake her up right away. I have this has a can opener in it, just in case, 2 of them, just in case you lose one, stick one in your boot. Has the package of the inhalants just in case your children got hurt, you know, they're a little drowsy, they just went through a big catastrophe or something, that's in there. This has water. Each one of these will fill up one of these right here. It'll fill up 2 of them actually. This clears anything inside here. Let's say you see a lake or a river, or you have dirty water coming out of a cactus that you need cleaned, okay? One of these is for that to come out, and you can use your bottle for that by getting the water out to your from your cactus, or if you're in the desert, if you will, or if you're near water, or you want to collect water with some form of even your collect water in any which way you can collect water. It's in the survival side. You need to clean it to make sure it's disinfected and it's 100% ready for you to drink. Well, that's what this is. Each one of these, see, and there's 15 of them in there. Now, if it only takes 16.9 ounces for a month, I said 90 days worth of water. Well, the survival of water is to where you can't have a whole bucket full of water. That's a pretty heavy bucket. So lightweight and easy, and they work in the form of survival. So if you're near a lake, a river, and you need to clean that water for drinking water, and you're out of fuel to boil it, you know, in some way, or you don't want to use all your fuel to just boil it every day, that's what these are for. Put them in there and it clears the water and kills everything in there for you to make it drinking water. It'll clear a bottle of dirt water. You can test them at home or find out you know what it is, but that's 90 days worth of water. And you know, the food wise, as I said, there's many different things in the food section of it. You got another blanket for your kids. You got hand warmers. What if you're in you know minus 10 degrees and you need to warm up your water? Your water's frozen. You know, you got to be able to figure out how to get that water to de-thaw and God forbid you're in that kind of environment, but I've been there, was stuck out there, in a different situation, and I had to figure that out. And now all your stuff got wet. Let's just say it's raining, there's lots of rain in this country, and everything's wet, and you somehow got water inside your bucket. Well, these are waterproof matches as well. They're windproof and waterproof, so you can strike them at any time and use them for whatever it is that you're using them for, to light a fire, for heat. You're in the middle of snow up in Alaska. You need to keep warm. They're windproof and waterproof, so that way, just in case you got them wet. This one has an oven, a little oven base setup again, little Army military oven, okay? And they go like this, just like this on your thing, and now you can cook. Now you can cook that food. This one particularly has tuna in it, high in protein, okay? You got fish stuff in here. There's fish to catch fish, and all our 70% of water that we have. And it comes with this particular thing, these little fuel cells, okay? Made in America, right? You just put one of those little thingies on there, put one of those on there and put them right there, and it'll cook. So that way you can cook your food. Already prepackaged inside your bucket, already made for you to survive in the form of survival. No electricity, all the electricity went out. You don't have solar no more, and your gas station went under. What are you going to do? You're going to light it with a Bic? You got one prepared for that, just in case, right? Well, those things matter, and you don't need to carry that around. And believe me, I'm not saying that, because you went to Boston College or you got a great degree or anything like that. I tell people all the time, you hire a leg surgeon, for a leg. You don't hire an arm surgeon for a leg. You don't hire a mechanic to fix your computer. A mechanic fixes a car. And so, a survival guy that says he survived through the jungle with, less than all this stuff. Well, that's great. I'm fabulous. And those shows are on TV, okay? I love them all, even though I don't watch TV. But what about real life? Let's get down to real life. Any time a catastrophe happens, you can have an earthquake at any time. Mount Rainier is 200 years overblown. Every year we have hurricanes. Every year we have tornadoes. We have tidal waves and earthquakes in the ocean every year. We are not prepared, nor are you, for your family. We are going to be. Made in America, made here in Arizona, every day and every way. We will gladly place your order, and we'll gladly ship you the bucket, and you put it on there for your special needs. If you need certain pills to stay, like vitamin pills, for seniors, for baby boomers. You guys are that important to us, and you're loved, and we want to make sure that you are very well taken care of. Some women like to do their nails in the form of a disaster. I don't know. You could use it to wipe your old nail polish off, and hopefully you got some new stuff, because if you want that in there, this comes with a flashlight that's prepackaged, pre-made, and it has a little stopper in there that you take out. And the reason why is because you don't want this to come on and the batteries to be dead. So we put it on there to where it won't come on in the bucket unless you take the little cardboard piece out there. This can be used for a lot more than just nail polish remover. But if you want that in there, you're more than welcome to ask for it, and we'll put it in there. Again, they come prepackaged like this. Okay, this one particularly comes with lots of different stuff. Toothbrush. It comes with matches. It comes with candles. That mosquito thing comes with plates, so you can have a plate, a paper plate. This one has a cup in it. It has a can opener right down at the bottom there. Has some lids for Tupperware that was in here. A little twine. Has a spoon, fork, a little carrying thing, toothpaste, a survival blanket. They're prepackaged, already in there, already made for you, shrunk wrapped and ready to go. And packaged, like I said, manufactured here in America, in the great state of Arizona here. As well as, an American flag, because that's where it came from. It's in the bucket, and you can use this for numerous other things. You can use it for cloths, but it's in the bucket, okay? In the bucket for you to use. If you had to breathe, what are you going to do? You're going to go get your respirator or your form of thing that's inside your house, inside your closet, up in the corner, that's crushed with all that concrete, or that house that fell down or burnt in those fires in California, or that tornado that lifted it off. You could do this. Put a little soap on there, put a little bit of water, and that acts as a form of survival, where it grabs all the dust, the dirt. Mount Rainier might have blew, and Lord knows you need that. See, You need that for your children. You can cut that up into bits and pieces. You can have a bunch of little American children running around with the American flag on. Or hang it from your survival, saying that that's what you are. You hang this flag up, and you know for sure people are going to come get you, or at least help you. Know what kind of freedom you're fighting for. Paper plates. You can use them for frisbees and not have plates anymore, or you can use them to where you don't have to use your plastic so much. You want to put them on there, and maybe when you're done with them, you're going to clean them off or use them for your fire or something of the kind, fire starters anyway. But very important, and sealed. Okay, and this one particularly has more in there. This has the bowls. It has the fire canister. It has coffee. This has tuna, and it has deodorant, and it's shrunk wraps, sealed and protected from anything. I could throw this in the water, throw this just in case the bucket got pierced somehow. Maybe a rock hit it, and it's pierced in there. It comes inside of a bag, so just in case the first layer of protection gets hurt, it's still got a second layer of protection. And most of them have 3 layers of protection because they're already prepackaged in another package. But you don't want to know that your can of food's getting ruined. You don't want to know that that milk that you got for your infant is hurt. So it's prepackaged and pre-made and safely put in there. So just in case something did get hurt. And that way you can survive, and that way you and your family, your wife, your children can survive. Things that matter. These are all in the bucket. If you can believe all that stuff fits in the bucket, it does. And I put it in there myself. Some of them come with little things like this, a 5-in-1 or 6-in-1, so you can cut stuff like that rope, to bungee your husband close to you or keep him near you, or your wife, whichever way you want to look at that. And the Keep It Simple survival concept is based on the concept of us going down the road. I heard this at one time, an analogy. You go down the road with brakes, tires, insurance, steering wheel, and turn signals and a key to start it. But there's nothing in there that's going to keep you alive if you're stuck on the side of the road. So we're going to add something to it by thinking that, well, why would we put that in there? Well, why wouldn't you put it in there? Why wouldn't you order it and put it in there? And what if you're diabetic and your insulin's gone inside the fridge? You need sugar to survive, to get to a hospital, to get to help. And that's in the bucket. You need food. You need water. And you're in the middle of Alaska and you break down. What are you going to do? You're going to just sit there and just say, thank you, No, you're going to survive. You're going to get up. You're going to know that you got a heartbeat and a breath. You're going to know that you live every day as it was your last. You're going to love life, and you're going to know that no matter what, you're going to make it when you get a bucket inside your home, whether it be 2 buckets, 1 for each floor. You have 3 floors or 6 floors. Order 6 of them. That way, no matter where they're at, you know where you can get them. They are a form of your family's life to survive from ground up. If you have nothing at the end of the day, your tornado house, there's other videos on there that I've showed you, where your whole house could be gone, and you have absolutely nothing, And sitting in the comfort of your home is great, don't get me wrong. I very rarely do it, but I do it. The rope, that's for your tent. Not only that, for your children, it can be to hold the bucket up off the ground so nobody can touch it. It's for safety, keep this away from any animals, predators. Bucket floats, okay? Made in America, made in the great state of Arizona. Comes with your born on date, the date that you decided to turn around and make your life a little bit easier when it comes down to the form of survival. And that way you can turn around and know that these things matter to your wife, to your children, and they don't want to live with that uncertainty. And so for me to you, from me to just explain this to you is just the simple form of it. I was out in the desert explaining it, so now I'm out here in my own home, and I'm just letting you know when it comes down to it, everything we do matters, okay? There's 50 states in this country, there's 333 million people, and we need to protect everybody. It's something that we have to do. And there's 7.4 billion people all the way across there. We can't rely on FEMA. We can't rely on the U.S. military just to come out and help us every time something happens. We're the ones out here working our butts off and paying our taxes and living our life and enjoying it, in our nice big homes and all that stuff. And that sounds great, feels great, and is great. Okay, I got it. But when it comes down to your life mattering, what do you have? What are you going to grab in less than 5 minutes to survive? What is it that you have that is so important You know, do you have that pictures, all those pictures inside someplace safe, like a fireproof safe, if you will? And don't go grabbing a fireproof safe. Don't go to Walmart and get one and put all your great valuables in there. Know that the survival side of your life doesn't matter. You know, your life matters that much more, not the chairs or the couches or the cars or your materialistic stuff. You're not going to go to the grave with a big old U-Haul. Okay, trust me, I know. And you know, the things that I say to you are very vital because I want you to take the time like I did today to make this video. I could have done it 10 different ways or 100 different other ways, but I did it this way so we could slow down and you could see for yourself what exactly it is that you're buying and the content of what it is that you need. If you take the time to do that, and you take the time to understand that this is what it's about, okay? It's about this for you to just release it, and then that way release the uncertainty inside what you have of surviving at the end of the day, so you can go to work, so you can know that your family is safe and secure, and that you're doing something about it. And even then, you're donating 30% of that to kids with leukemia, kids with cancers, adults, seniors, children, average people that can't afford to get healed inside hospitals, all the way across human life, across the whole world. All organizations are welcome at being contacted and being added. And that puts $99.99 per bucket at 30%, at $333 per bucket. But that's all it takes for you to survive. And you're going to be that guy that runs out with your Costco or Fry's box and say, I got it, and you survive a week with water, and then you get help, and now you're in a line that says you have to wait for that certain time to get that done. Take that away. Take the time today. You made a decision to marry your wife. You made a decision to live today. You made a decision to get in this video and listen to me, and know that that's what you got to do. You've got to make a decision. So you're going to decide. Deliver it quite easy. You get on the internet all the time. You're on it now, and you're going to decide and now do it. I never asked you to pay for it yet until we actually call you and get it on there and get your order placed. And believe me, it's going to grow and grow and grow until we can get 7.4 billion of them made. So that way we know we got a lot of life to save. And at the end of the day, it matters. You matter. All human life matter. Women, men, and children. We're all equal. Every one of us. And you know, whether you make the decisions in your life or in your family's life, take the time today to appreciate it and be thankful and grateful that you are alive and that you can make that ability to do something different. Make the choice that you choose to live, and you choose to live past that event of saying that something could happen. What if you went home tonight and your house caught on fire and your children were in it? Is there anything in there that's going to keep them alive? Anything that they can help? And let's say there was that earthquake and all the roads were bad, and the fire department can't get to you, even though, God bless, or they couldn't, or God, in some way they could. Just to help out, just to help everybody, or even your family and yourself. That's what this is for. It's for the uncertainty of not knowing what could happen, and in the event it does, because I don't do just in cases. That's not a just in case. This is in the event something could happen. In the event your wife breaks down or you break down, you got that. You already have that, and it's already in your car, or it's in your home. It's in that closet, and your children know what to grab just in case something happens. You know, I was in a 7.5 earthquake up in Washington, and the house went like that. Okay, it went forward and back. I was thankful enough it didn't fold all the way down on top of me, but I was ready to jump out the window. And we didn't have no survival stuff. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if the roads were breaking or the bridges were. But up in Seattle, it happened. It was a while ago. It was like 15 years ago. But you know, that stuff happens, and you can make it through it. And the first aid side in these things are to where some of them come with like needle and thread for you to stitch up anything that, like if you get a cut and you can't go to the hospital, or the fire department can't come, or the ambulance can't get on the roads, they're all gone, or they're all flooded with water, and you know, you need a flotation device, but you got a big cut because that's what it took. Well, there's some of them that have that in there, so you can stitch up yourself, and that way you don't have to go or wait or lose blood, if you will, and then iodine to wash it out, and alcohol or whatever it is, and you know, anything in there for you to make sure that you're going to buy the time that it takes, so you can get the help that you need to survive. Okay, so these are the things that are in the bucket, and as I said in the beginning, thank the great ground you walk on, thank the state you live in, And don't be afraid to order your bucket from KeepItSimpleSurvivalABC.com. It'll always be creating destiny and keep it very simple survival. That's all this is. Keep it simple. This is a straightforward approach. My name's Dave Bissell. I'm the creator, founder of it, and the CEO, owner of it. And eventually I'm going to get the help that I need to get this done. It's made in America, made here in the great state of Arizona, manufactured and shipped right out of here. And it has everything you need. And if you see something that I don't see, you're more than welcome to put on there that what it is that you need. But these are the items that it's going to take for your family to survive in the event. Whether it be that you have a baby and an infant, okay? Whether you need a bottle or baby food, it's in there. Whether she just had a baby and now she's relaxing and she went through an earthquake. She needs to be able to relax. And let's say she wants to shave. Who knows? Your 4-year-old needs a sippy cup. Okay, things that matter, things that make sense, things that work, things that have worked, and things that will work for you. And I wanted to say thank you for taking the time for this video. It's a little long, but I needed to make sure that you understand where I'm coming from and how it's going to be made and how you're going to be getting your bucket when you place your order. So decide, deliver, and do. Take the time today and make sure that you thank everybody in your family and tell them that you love them. Take that 5 minutes out, and God forbid that you don't. It's your life. Go ahead and do it. Have some compassion towards them. And at the end of the day, I want to thank you. I'm grateful that you took the time again, and I hope you order your bucket, and I'll gladly put on there your ship date or your born on date, and I'll give you a call or we'll shoot you an email, and we'll start with that. And know that you're going to be okay when it comes down to anything that you go through. Let me be the first to tell you, it's a very smart thing that you can do this. And again, you can also sit on the bucket when there's no chairs out there in the middle of the desert or in the woods and think about it. But your reaction is what's important. So know that I love you, know that I care, know that you're beautiful, and know that everything matters from this point on. And take the time in your life to enjoy it. Okay? Thank the sun, the 8.4 seconds it took to hit your beautiful face. God bless you, and have a great day.